This is Ron and Henry again, and just wanted to say this is the second part. Hey, down. This is the second part of the 6-part series on your blueprint to weight loss success. Okay, now this one is about like the food reset. So this one's going to get a little detailed, okay? But you're also going to get awesome food swaps. So basically stuff that you can just swap out right now. And then you're also going to get some information. I got stuff, you guys. I went kind of deep on this one, okay? So this one's gonna be good. So I talked about healthy and unhealthy fats. I talked about healthy and unhealthy carbs. I talked a little bit about organic. Just basically what it is I'm just trying to help make sure you guys understand and enlighten you guys about some of the issues with some of our foods. So you're just gonna get a bunch of information. This is the longer videos, probably longer than the other ones in the 6-part series. But just please watch it. Please don't miss any part of it. And please take notes. Definitely take notes on this one because you're going to get some food hacks. But like I said, at the end of this, you're going to actually get, you're not only going to get the food plan, you guys, you're also going to get a shopping list with places that you can shop in the grocery store. You're also going to get, and the shopping list is going to have the foods on it that you want to try to focus on. Enjoy the video. So, your blueprint for weight loss success. Okay, this is the second part of a 6-part series. So this is the food reset. Okay, you're swap your way to slim without starving. So ditch the guilt, keep the flavor, the truth about carbs, fats, and treats. So why food swaps matter? Small changes can lead to big results over time, right? Just like if you're eating chemicals. Eating that stuff every day can lead to health issues later, right? Swapping unhealthy choices for healthier options is simple and sustainable. Swap one, you guys. Ditch sugary drinks for water. Replace sodas, energy drinks, and sugary coffees with water or herbal teas. Okay? Or you can just have coffee black or maybe some very, very little bit of that, like organic creamer with minimal ingredients in it. Please, please, please. I know it's hard, you guys. I've been fighting this with my mom for years. Is those coffee creamers are killing us, right? They're really bad for us. Okay, so the benefits of changing your drinks, it will reduce calorie intake and improve hydration and boost your metabolism. Just a quick pro tip. Add lemon, cucumber, or mint to water for its flavor, So I found this quote. Thought it was interesting, but it's anonymous. I don't know who wrote it, but drinking water is like washing out your insides. Kind of feels like that sometimes. All right, swap 2, right? Swap 2. Choose whole grain over refined grains. Opt for brown rice, okay? Whole wheat bread or quinoa instead of white rice and white bread. The benefits, you'll have more fiber, it'll keep you fuller longer, stabilize your blood sugar, and then another little quote, fiber is your friend in the fight against hunger. All right, swap number 3, add more vegetables to meals. Okay, this is what I learned. This would really help me a lot. I just started eating, no matter what, half the salad or half the vegetables in every meal. So fill half your plate with colorful vegetables, organic, because you don't want those pesticides, you guys, like spinach, carrots, or peppers, okay? The benefits, right? Well, it's lower in calories, higher in nutrients, right? And it helps control portion sizes, all positives, right? Quick pro tip, roast veggies with olive oil and spices for extra flavor. Eat your colors for a healthier you. Sounds pretty good. Unless you're eating like Skittles, probably not a good idea. Swap 4. Make sure you guys are writing these down. So snack smart, right? Replace chips and candy with nuts, fruit, or Greek yogurt. It's amazing how this works too, because I eat a lot of like almonds and like pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds and all that in my snacks, right, with some fruit and some chocolate, and it really doesn't stick to me. It's pretty amazing. I'm not saying it wouldn't if I ate it all night long, but So the benefits is that it satisfies your hunger without excess sugar or unhealthy fats. So try to prepare, portion-sized snacks ahead of time. And then I got another quote. I got all these quotes, you guys. I'm the quote king. That's what at the school. You should see my walls. All the walls are covered with quotes, the whole thing. So I just love them. A snack should be your ally, not your enemy, right? Let's just change a couple of those habits, right? Just change, just all. Let me just take, instead of having that, that sugary Starbucks, right? It's so delicious, right? Maybe have one of those once a week instead of 5 times a week, right? And then maybe instead replace it that one day, or just start replacing it. All right, swap 5, use healthier cooking techniques. Swap frying for baking, grilling, steaming, or air frying. I have my air fryer. It is awesome, you guys. But those are great tips. Write those down. Follow them. All right, so, well, you want to be flexible, right? So, some swaps for allergy preferences. You can swap like chicken with tofu for vegetarians. You can use gluten-free oats, for gluten sensitivity, and experiment with herbs and spices for flavor. Carbs, the good, the bad, and the really bad. Picking the right kind of fuel. So healthy carb examples, right, are whole grains, oats, quinoa, brown rice. No, not like the Frosted Flakes. Legumes, beans, lentils, vegetables like sweet potatoes and carrots, fruits like berries and apples. You got to start looking at those as candy, and then that'll help you change some of that. You just start replacing it, and then because we didn't have this before all this technology, right? We didn't have all these packaged items, so we were eating fruits and we loved them, right? I don't know if you guys know how good a pink lady apple is when it's really sweet and sour at the same time. It's like a Skittle, so good. So benefits: keeps your digestion happy and regular. All right, so. By eating the healthier carbs, right, it's going to help. You're not going to have the sugar crashes like you would, because sugar gets you going and then boom, right? It might actually improve your heart, your health, right? And then it helps you feel full, so you're not having to raid the cookie jar all night. Well, guess what? You shouldn't have a cookie jar, guys. So unhealthy carbs. So this is the question: what's the problem, right? What are we dealing with? What are carbs, right? Yeah, well, unhealthy carbs, right? They contribute to weight gain because they have empty calories and they lead to overeating. They lead to blood sugar spikes, so it's bad for diabetics, right? Heart disease. Unhealthy carbs, raise triglycerides and cause inflammation. Energy crashes, right? You get energy crashes because you get the quick boom and you drop. Tooth decay, yeah. I remember I was married when I got divorced, like 6 years later or whatever. I had like 3 cavities. I didn't have any cavities before that. And we used to drink Pepsi all the time. I got hooked on Pepsi. So that tells you, stop drinking that stuff. And also, if you do not have fiber because you're eating the unhealthy carbs, you might have constipation and skin problems because the sugar damage collagen and might cause some breakouts and wrinkles. Okay, so some unhealthy carb examples, right? There's sugar, there's soda, right? Sweet juices, it's basically just like liquid candy. Processed snacks, cookies, chips, cakes, right? Oh, they're delicious. I walk by them in the break room every day at work. Like, not every day, but when I see them donuts, oh my goodness, and the cakes. But I have to walk by them, guys, because I made my decision to change, and I'm not going to go back. And nobody's going to tempt me with that stuff, So, because I feel great and I look great, and I'm not going to change. So I'm Italian. Well, I'm American, right? But I have Italian ancestry from back in the day, right? So I shouldn't say Italian because I'm not Italian. I'm American, right? But that's the way we talk in America, right? I'm Italian. No, well, you're American. I've never been to Italy, so how can I say I'm Italian, right? So anyway. I'm American. I love Italian food, and I have Italian genes, but So my point is white bread, pasta, and all that stuff seems to be in the American Italian culture. I don't know about in Italy, but so you know, white bread and pasta, you know, it's doesn't have, you know, doesn't really provide you with much nutrients, and it tends to stick on us, right? So, but you can still have some, but just a little bit, right? And you shouldn't have white bread and pasta at the same time. You should have one or the other, right? Also, candies and sweets, right? Yeah, you're gonna be running right back to the dentist because they that's how they stay in business, right? Health problems, well, guess what? The sugar, guess what? Keeps us running right back to that doctor. Thing is about the sugar, right? Is it will, you know, all that stuff's gonna start accumulating, and then you're gonna, you know, it'll start sticking to our waistline. We'll start getting fatter, right? Maybe we'll have health problems, right? You know, just in general, unhealthy carbs are killing us. But if you have healthy carbs, right, so the other unhealthy carbs are killing us and causing all these problems, right? Everything, right? But then when you have healthy carbs, look at the difference. These are what we need, right? The fiber, right? It helps provide a slow, steady energy release, right? Digestion, right? The fiber, again, right, supports your gut health, preventing constipation, you know, blood sugar control, right? It lowers the risk of diabetes by avoiding the big sugar spikes. Heart health, whole grains and fiber reduce cholesterol levels. And then weight management, keeps you full longer, helps control the appetite. And then brain boosts. Healthy carbs fuel the brain, supporting focus and improve memory. Okay, so quick example on the sugar. I was diagnosed with prediabetes after 10 years of going. I would not go to the doctor because they were not diagnosing me. I was getting irritated with them. So I would just try to figure it out on my own, whatever health problems I had. But what I did not know is that 10 years ago, it's been a long time, maybe 12 years ago, I was pre-diabetic. I didn't know. I didn't find out until like last year. And then when I found out, I was like, okay, I was like 15 pounds heavier than I am now. And I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so I looked it all up. Let me cut down those sugars, right? Cut them down. They said, because you can get rid of it. So I'm trying to reverse it. Well, guess what? I cut them down, way down. I swear to you guys, I was having eye problems. I was standing in front of my students trying to read, and I could not see. I had to buy some glasses, right? This was like a few years ago. Well, I was thinking, well, my eyes are going bad. I have to get some glasses. Well, I quit the sugar. I cut down the sugar. I didn't quit. I just way down. And guess what? My eyes, I can literally read. You can ask all my students. I'm reading in front of the whole school. Like I have no problems. You know, unless the lighting is off or something, I can read with no glasses. Like right now, I'm reading some of this stuff, right? So it's crazy how the sugar can just really mess up everything, you know, cause diabetes and cause a lot of things, a lot of problems with our health. And also, I know people that I've lost people to cancer, and I know one thing that fuels it big time is that sugar. All right, so how to pick carbs without sabotaging yourself. First, you want to choose complex carbs because they'll give you some more energy, right? Avoid empty carbs unless because the empty, basically what we're talking about is empty, they have nothing in them, right? There's nothing in there, right? I mean, nothing good for us, right? You know, unless you want to just keep on that roller coaster ride of sugar and health woes, pick carbs that actually work with your body and not against it. I'm not going to finish this video until I show you guys about the carbs. I got to show you guys about the things that are really hurting us. So now this next one here is about the fats. Okay, let's talk about the fats. Okay, so what are fats, right? Fats are essential macronutrients that provide energy, support cell growth, protect organs, and help absorb certain nutrients. However, not all fats are created equal. So unhealthy fats include saturated fats found in red meat, butter, and full-fat dairy products. Trans fats found in processed foods and partially hydrogenated oils. The risks are increased LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, they call it, right? Raise the risk of heart disease and contribute to obesity and other health issues. So what are healthy fats, right? Well, so the monosaturated fats, right? They're in olive oil, avocados, and nuts. So I know I eat a lot of that stuff, so that's good for me. Polyunsaturated fats, right? Those are found in fish, flax seeds, and walnuts. The benefits are that they improve cholesterol levels, reduce inflammation, and support heart and brain health. All right, so practical tips for healthy fat intake. So choose olive oil or avocado oil or coconut oil for cooking. Snack on nuts or seeds instead of processed chips. Include fatty fish like salmon in your meals. And then read the labels to avoid trans fats. Carbs, right? Fats. Now, HFCs, high fructose corn syrup, okay? This is another one that's messing us up too, okay? I'm just getting through some of the top ones, that's it. And then basically this is the food swap video. And then I'm giving you guys some toxic stuff. And like I said, don't worry about it. This is just information I'm giving you because then when we get to the food plan, you're going to see a lot of this stuff won't be in there, okay? So don't worry about it. I'm taking it out for you. So the hidden dangers of high fructose corn syrup, you know, we hear about it. So what is that? These are processed sweeteners. The sweetener made from corn syrup. Processed to increase its fructose content. It's cheaper and sweeter than sugar, making it a popular choice for processed food. Okay, so the health risk, basically, you know, obesity, diabetes, and liver disease, right? Like natural sugars do, right? HFCs do not trigger insulin and leptin, leading to overeating. And then excessive consumption leads to fatty liver, high triglycerides, and metabolic syndrome. How to identify HFCs in your food, right? Or all these other stuff, all these other things also, right? Just look at the label, read the label, right? High fructose corn syrup, or corn sugar are what it's called. Watch out for the sneaky language though, like natural flavors or no sugar added. Products like soda, candy, baked goods, condiments, and even bread often contain HFCs. To avoid them, right? Basically just stick to like whole unprocessed foods, you know, like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. You know, you can choose beverages like water, herbal teas, or fresh juices. Then avoid prepackaged snacks, you know, sweetened drinks, and read the labels. So HFCs took over the food supply back in the 1970s when sugar prices rose and companies sought cheaper alternatives, right? It derives from corn, you know, so it's in abundance, right? And it became a cost-effective solution. And then by the 1980s, giants like Coke and Pepsi had swapped sugar for HFCs in their products. The role of lobbying and misinformation. Food corporations influence government policies to keep HFCs widely available, right? The food industry, lobbyists push for vague labeling like natural flavors to disguise HFCs. There's a revolving door between food execs and regulatory agencies like the FDA and USDA. All right, so I got to throw my quote in there, another one. I found this one. Our bodies weren't designed to handle the sheer volume of refined sugars we're consuming today. It's like throwing wads of cash into the bloodstream and expecting the bank to sort it out. So organic foods, well, you know, the benefits are that they avoid synthetic chemicals and they promote eco-friendly farming, right? So we're actually helping the planet by voting with our wallet and buying organic foods. They also may offer higher antioxidants and lower pesticide residues. They support sustainable practices and reduce chemical exposures. So based on research, GMOs and glyphosate, they're a common, basically, well, glyphosate is a common herbicide in GMO farming and is classified as a probable human carcinogen. Concerns focus on health risks and environmental impact. Choosing organic helps minimize exposure and supports natural farming. How much glyphosate is actually in our bodies? So over 80% of urine samples from U.S. children and adults contain glyphosate, according to the CDC, of 2,310 samples. 1,885 samples had detected levels which scientists call disturbing and concerning. A 2017 study revealed that a 500% rise in glyphosate exposure since Roundup-ready GMO crops were introduced in 1996. So despite the widespread exposure, research on its impact, especially in children, remains limited. A 2020 environmental health study stressed that without standardized data collection, linking glyphosate exposure to disease is nearly impossible. So illness and disease in the United States, residents of rural areas in the United States experience higher rates of preventable deaths compared to their urban counterparts. Factors contributing to this disparity include limited access to health care, higher prevalence of certain risk factors, and socioeconomic challenges. That was a report from the CDC. The incidence of certain cancers among younger populations in the U.S. has been increasing. For instance, colorectal cancer rates have risen by 1% to 2% per year since the mid-1990s among individuals under 55. In 2024, it is estimated that there will be approximately 2 million, more than 2 million new cancer cases in the U.S., Scientific American Cancer Society reports. Okay, now there's also resurgence of syphilis and other STDs. Syphilis, once nearing eradication in the 1990s, has seen a significant resurgence in the U.S. between 2018 and 2022. Reported syphilis cases increased by 80%, reaching over 207,000 cases in 2022, the highest number since the 1950s. This resurgence affects various demographics, including women and newborns, leading to a rise in congenital syphilis cases. That's reported from the CDC. Future projections: the burden of age and lifestyle-related disease, such as cardiovascular diseases, concerns, and neurological disorders, is expected to increase by about 20% through 2040. This projection is attributed to factors like an aging population and lifestyle risk factors, including poor diet, physical inactivity, and obesity, reported by McKinley and Company. These trends underscore the importance of public health interventions aimed at prevention, early detection, and addressing social determinants of health to mitigate the impact of these diseases. All right, so thanks for hanging in there through the video. So take the first steps today. Start with 1 to 2 swaps and build from there. Download your food plan to make healthier eating even easier. Stay consistent and celebrate your small wins along the way. I'm going to leave you with one final quote before signing off. And remember, the next video is going to be part 3. And then on 5, you're going to get your food plan. Okay? And then you're going to get your shopping list on 6. So, and then you're going to get exercise plans later. Okay? So just follow the steps. And you're going to be fine. So I'm going to leave you with this final quote. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Have a good day.